Wait, for real though, you do stand up, is that
He
right,
does.
Mike?
He does.
I do
Are you still doing the stand up, or is
I haven't in a while, but I just wrote like about 10 new minutes, so I might start working on it soon. Just good to have in the back pocket whenever you join an Electors pod.
Fitz has got some stand up coming up in May.
I do. I'm going to Dublin. It's not necessarily just like a stand up comic show, but there are a couple theaters that are going to be doing some stuff in Ireland. I don't know how the humor translates over there, so I'm kind of going in blind, but it's going to be about the NFL too. So,
what's your style? Like, what do you? Are you topical? Are you?
Well, me and you, I think, are very similar in that it's dry a lot of the time. Some observational stuff. I just saw Jim Gaffigan and Jerry Seinfeld, and they both did hour sets, and it was so unbelievable. But it's like Jim Gaffigan, I probably laughed out loud more for him. And Jerry, it was like 3 days later, I was still like thinking about some of the wording and the jokes that he made. But who is your favorite comedian?
Of all time, I love, like, I started watching like Richard Pryor when I was young. And then as I got older, it was like Chappelle, Bill Burr, now Shane. I love Stavros now, Mulaney. I have a ton that I love, but early on it was definitely like those old school, watching Eddie Murphy Raw when I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, exactly.
with the remote very close so I could change it when my mom walked in. But yeah, I just always loved comedy, loved it, and like that's what I gravitated towards just my whole life.
But you, my friend, and the amount of commercials that you have been in recently, especially like the March Madness stuff, we just saw you over and over and over again, and I really, really enjoyed most of them. Do you have a say in, like, do you have some creative say in what's going on for those commercials, or is that something that's thrown at you and you're just you're reading the script?
No, so actually, like, over the years, I think I've gotten to have more and more creative input. So back in the day, I would even like kind of sit in and help write commercials, my own commercials, just because I only wanted to do what I thought was funny. I'm not going to say comedy because some people are like, those weren't funny. But that's all I wanted to do. So with the AT&T stuff, I've known Joe Mandy, who was on it with me for a while. He's an unbelievable comedy writer. So we kind of like, I don't want to say rewrote, but they were super great about us, like just ad-libbing and improvising day of. So we kind of had the structure of what those things were supposed to be. And then we would just start going. And usually we just kind of find, we had to shoot 15 of them. So we were going quickly. It was only like maybe like 3 or 4 takes each one, and we'd have to move to the next one. So they turned out great, but he was so good to work with. And like, he's in the comedy world. So it's like, that's the type of teammate you want to have in those situations. But like the Red Lobster one, it was kind of like, it was presented, this is what it's supposed to be. And then we kind of by the end of it, it was like, there was probably only like, there's like some of it in there, but a lot of these comedies have been so great about, just kind of letting me like, do some things, which is a lot of fun for me. Cause that's where I love it. There's nothing better than just like being a complete idiot. Somebody being like, all right, that kind of works. Well, what do you mean that? You're like, ooh, thank God. I wasn't sure this was funny.
That's awesome, dude. I think it's so cool, man. Like, when you watch guys like get into all the things, throughout their career, sometimes we just get labeled as basketball players or football players. And then you get to see all your passions come out, because you mentioned that having some creative interest in all those things, but like you actually you have your own production company as well, right? So you do some of that in your spare time when you're not on the golf course, correct?
Yeah. Ryan Khalil, who you know,
yep.
We started a company in like 2016. We both just had a love for like the creative side of film and TV, and he had some projects that he was working on. I had some that I was working on, so we joined up. With the idea of like, hey, we're going to like lay the foundation and get the groundwork in, now, and make sure people realize this is like a passion, before we're done playing. It's so much easier to, start doing that while you're playing. And make sure people know it's legit. So yeah, we did a remake to White Men Can't Jump. We had a Apple TV show called Hello Tomorrow. Since then we're in development on a bunch of stuff. We sold a bunch of stuff. So, Yeah,
That's
it was cool.
awesome.
I was like, one thing that I'm so glad that I started while I was playing, because it helps that transition to retirement when you're like, whoa, all right, this is done. Now what? So, yeah, it's been fun.